I love feeding a ton of chickens and getting no eggs, said no one ever. Why are you acting crazy? I thought you wanted to cuddle. No? Okay, you've got a ton of chickens, you're not getting any eggs, you want to know why? Let's talk about it. Hello friends, welcome to Chickenlandia. My name is Dahlia. I'm a backyard chicken educator, also known as the president of Chickenlandia. Raising chickens has been the best way for me to find peace and joy in my life, and I want to help you find that too. I don't know when you're watching this video, and I don't know from where you're watching this video, but I will tell you where I live and across the United States, this is the time where I start to get a lot of messages and people are like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not getting any eggs. I've got all these chickens. Where are my eggs? So usually late summer and early fall, your adult chickens will go through their molt. And what's happening is they're dropping all their old scraggly feathers that they used for a year, and they're growing new strong feathers to get them through the winter. But during this time, they're really using all their resources to grow out their feathers. They're using like the nutrition that they eat and all of that to grow these feathers out, and they're not really using that energy to lay eggs. Most chickens will take a break during this time, which is good for them because you don't want them to like just completely expend themselves and just keep laying and laying and laying through their molt, because actually that's not very good for them. It's starting to rain. Sugar melts, people. So this time can be really confusing for some people because, you know, maybe they have young chickens and they went through their first summer and fall and they were laying really well, and then all of a sudden they're not laying upon their second summer and fall. And so the people that own them are very confused. But, you know, don't worry. A lot of people will be like, are my chickens sick? What's going on? There's feathers on the ground. What's going on? Don't worry. This is totally natural. Just, you know, you can give them a couple weeks of some good chicken vitamins, support them really well nutritionally. You can give them a little bit of extra protein. Don't go crazy with it. Sometimes people just really go crazy with the extra protein. You know, just give them a little bit and keep things balanced and make sure that they don't have a lot of stress, and they're going to get through their molt just fine, okay? And then you'll start getting eggs again. But a molt is not the only reason why your chickens might not be laying. So let's talk about the other reasons. I have right now in my flock a really, really old chicken, and she's always been a good layer, and she's a Moran, so she has laid throughout her life a nice brown, like really dark brown egg, and I have not seen one of those eggs in a really long time. Chickens during their first year of life, especially the production breeds, they're gonna lay a lot of eggs because that's how they were bred. They were bred to lay the most eggs they could possibly lay during that first year of life. Because if you think about it, production breeds aren't really meant to live past that first year of life. And most production breeds in the world don't live past that first year. They are raised in factory farms. They lay a whole bunch of eggs their first year. And then when that egg laying drops just a little bit, they are replaced with new chickens. So that is why that first year of life is so prolific. As they get older, they will continue to lay eggs. The second year, they'll lay a little bit less than the first year. The third year, they'll lay a little bit less, and then so on and so forth. And production breeds, you know, usually 6 to 10 years. You know, if they get to 10 years of age as a production breed, that's a really long time for a production breed to live. But they still may give you an egg here and there, and they're gonna give you good fertilizer for their whole lives. Now, bantam breeds just don't lay as many eggs as production breeds, and non-production breeds don't lay as many eggs, and they might actually live a little bit longer, and their laying life might be a little bit longer, but you're just not going to see as many eggs over the course of their lifetime as you will the production breeds. But I had a tiny little bantam. Her name was Bubble Butt, and she laid an egg like, you know, once every 3 months until she was like 11 years old. So she would lay this little tiny egg. She had to come inside and I would take care of her, and then she would lay her egg. It was like this whole thing, this whole ritual. But she laid up until she died, and she was quite old when she died. One thing that some people don't realize is that any kind of stressful event for chickens could cause them to stop laying for a few weeks or even a month while they're kind of recovering from that event. And for chickens, something stressful could just be like changing something significant about their environment. And that definitely happened with us when we moved from Chickenlandia 1.0 to Chickenlandia 2.0, which we're in right now. And they had to ride in a car and get here, and they didn't lay for a while after that because they were just, getting used to this big change in their lives. Chickens are creatures of habit, and they really don't like change. So just keep that in mind. If something significant has occurred and they stop laying, they just need a little bit of time and they'll start back up again. If your chickens are recovering from an illness, or if they've had like a parasite infestation and they had to be treated for that, then you will likely see a drop in their laying during that time. And that is natural. They just need time to recover. Again, it's just like molting. Like they're putting all that energy and all of their resources into getting better. So I would just give them that time, support them nutritionally during that time. And it's worth it to mention that if you notice that a chicken has stopped laying and you've ruled out other things, you should probably check that chicken for parasites and make sure that it's not sick. Certainly if it's like lethargic, that's a sign that it's not feeling well and that's why it's not laying. So you want to rule those things out so that you can handle any problems as they come. Most chickens will take a break from laying during the winter months, and that actually doesn't have anything to do with the lower temperatures. It has to do with the number of hours of daylight during those shorter days. Unless you are supplementing light during the shorter days of the winter months, then you're likely not to get many eggs during that time. I allow my chickens to have that natural break. Of course, I'm not running an egg business, so there's nothing wrong with that if you need to supplement light, but because I feel like it's probably more natural for them to have that break in the winter, I let them have that break. But if you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. One thing that people don't really think about, they're usually thinking like, oh, the chickens will take a break in winter. But sometimes, if it's really hot, chickens will take a break. And, if there's a significant heat wave, the chickens will not lay during that time. They're just trying to stay cool. I mentioned that, if a big event happens, that your chickens will likely stop laying for a period of time after that event. And the reason for that is that it's stressful to them. And this is certainly true in the case of a predator attack. If a predator attacks, or if there's a threat of predator attack, like there's predators around and they're kind of harassing the chickens, that will be very stressful for them, and they likely won't lay very well if that's happening. So I think in order to avoid those things, we have to learn how to deal with predators. And I am one person that likes to live in harmony with predators. I've got a lot of videos about it, and I think it is just best for you to avoid predator attacks. And if you want to know how to do that, there's a whole playlist about it. It is on the screen right now. Of course, it's 100% friendly, backyard chickens, education, and entertainment, and I know you're gonna love it. And don't worry, those eggs are coming back soon, I promise.